All right, welcome to Godfather Barbecue and Italian. Today we've got what I think is another winner. This is a great dish. It's another one of those that every time I make it, I go, "Why don't we have this more?" Chicken Marsala, right? And everybody hears it's kind of like penne alla vodka. If you've seen that video, it's one of these meals everybody thinks is so elaborate because most people just order at a restaurant. Most people don't cook this at home because they figure it's got wine, flammable wine and they think it's a very elaborate production. And the reality of it is, it's about as simple as you can get, and it's delicious. And I never really got into it until later in life. It's just one of those meals that never appealed to me, so I never really tried it. Probably till I was in my 30s, and it wasn't a meal that we had in our household. This is definitely we're Neapolitan, from Naples. This is definitely a Sicilian dish. We're very close geographically, but the Marsala itself is a Sicilian wine. So I believe the recipe originated there too. I'm not 100%. So anyway, I'm going to go through these ingredients. This is super simple, but probably the most simple equals delicious dish that, or one of the top three that we'll make on this show, on this channel. Okay. I'm going to fry the cutlets in extra virgin olive oil and butter. Okay. So we're going to use the butter for twofold here. And I'll get into that. But I use extra virgin olive oil because we're going to make a sauce. Okay. Normally I don't fry in that, and it's not going to be at high heat. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to brown these cutlets. But the extra virgin olive oil will carry that flavor throughout the sauce because of its, I guess you'd say, viscosity, even though it sounds like motor car oil. But anyway, its texture, that will carry the flavor out, and that's what's used. Okay, so we're going to use some of that for frying the cutlets. I've went ahead, taken two large chicken breasts, butterflied them, trimmed them up, pounded them out. You'll see that coming up next. I'll go ahead and salt and pepper those before I fry them. I'm just getting some other stuff down here now, so I'm not going to do it too early because I don't want to draw too much moisture out with the salt. Kosher salt, black pepper, 1 cup of Marsala wine. I use dry. You can use sweet. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, but there is a difference in the taste. I think the sweet sometimes it's too sweet unless it's a really high quality Marsala wine, which I don't know too many people that drink Marsala wine. Most of it's used for cooking, but I know there are people, and no disrespect. 1 cup of chicken stock. I'm going to use some butter also at the to fry, and also at the end, I'm going to take about a half a stick and roll it in the flour to tighten everything up. Kind of make not a roux, obviously, but that'll help pull the sauce together. And I've got some chopped garlic and some chopped parsley. You can put shallots in here. I go back and forth. The traditional way is just garlic, so I'm sticking with that for now. I've got some baby bellas here. These are a pound total, 8 ounces each. I'm going to use at least 1.5 of these. These are rather small. I wish I could have found something bigger, but I went to 2 stores. I couldn't find anything bigger, so regards to that, I may end up using both of them. But again, it's one of those meals to your liking, And obviously, I've got some all-purpose flour, which will be dredging the chicken cutlets in before we fry them up. But I think you're going to enjoy this, and when you see how quick and easy it comes together, you're going to be really happy, and it's delicious. All right, so we'll see you in a minute. All right, so we're ready to rip. I cover the bottom of the pan with the extra virgin olive oil, and I put about a third of a stick of butter in it. The butter's going to help it brown up nice. I've got my chicken that I've dredged in flour, salt, and pepper on both items. I'm going to go in. And these should take about 3 minutes aside. These are thin, so that's about all you'd want to put in there. You do not want to crowd the pan. So 3 minutes, I'm going to flip them. We'll see you then. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes now. That's just a guide, okay? I want to make sure that these are cooking, and I only want to cook these about 90% of the way. I want the other 10% or so to finish in the sauce. Otherwise, you're going to end up overcooking them and dry them out. But you just want to make sure they have that golden brown bottom, okay? And they're starting to show the signs of cooking on the sides of the chicken. Those are beautiful. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so we're going to continue to monitor these. If you're using an Insta-Read or a meat thermometer, they should be about 150-ish. Assuming you want to cook them to 165. So that's about where they're going to be with another 3 minutes. And we're going to let them do their thing, and we'll see you then. All right, so we're back. These are perfect. As I said, about 85, 90% of the way cooked. And then they'll cook in that sauce for 10 or 15 minutes after we put it together. All right, so from here, I'm going in with my mushrooms. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to use about 1.5. So that's about 12 ounces. Take a look at that. And these are going to shrink up. I'm going in with the whole deal. And again, this is completely up to you. I happen to like a lot of mushrooms. And when you see the end, at the end of the day, these are going to shrink really very much. So I'm going to salt and pepper these. Help them get rid of some of that water. All right, so we're going to cook these until soft. It'll take about like 5 or 6 minutes. Getting nice and golden brown. Butter's doing its job. These don't have much longer. I don't want to completely soften them up. Just want to get them, I'd say like a medium texture of doneness, because they are going to cook again in that sauce. So we are getting close here. All right, so we're ready for the garlic. You can see what these look like. You see how they've shrunk up quite a bit. And they're not fall apart. I don't want them really, really tender again. I know I've said that, but just enough so you have a little bit of resistance with the fork. Going in with my garlic. I'm doing this after because we all know garlic burns very quick. So we're talking about a minute in here just to get fragrant and flavor the rest of the pan up. Can smell that. All right, we're going in with the Marsala next. Want you folks to be really careful of the flame when you do this, meaning on your stove. It's not quite as combustible as, like a vodka or brandy, but it's still ignitable. All right, so I'm going to go in with this, and then for the sake of time, again, watch your flame. It's going to deglaze this pan. Oh, the smell. With that, for the sake of time, I'm going to flambe this. I don't expect you to do this if you're not going to do that, which most of you aren't. Let this just reduce in half. Be about 3 minutes or so. And I'm going to shake this just so it doesn't burn the bottom while we're doing that. That's going to burn your alcohol off. Gone. We're good on that. If you don't do that, you'll have a bitter sauce. And with our chicken stock. Oh, this is looking good. Okay, I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. All right, so we're simmering it. I did test it for seasoning, and it needed a little salt, so I added a little bit of salt to it. I'm going to go in with our chicken, and we're just going to go on a medium simmer. Initially, I'm going to just flip those over, make sure we hydrate that chicken, or hydrate it. I want to keep the chicken as submerged as possible. If you do need to add any liquid, it's looking like we're going to be all right. Just add a little more chicken stock. Do not add any more Marsala at this point because it hasn't been hasn't had the alcohol taken out. Like I say, you'll end up with a bitter product. Turn that down a little bit. I'm going to let this go about 10 minutes, and we'll be wrapping it up at that point. All right, so we're nice here. We've been rolling about 10 minutes, starting to thicken up. The flavor's unbelievable. I just checked it. I always try to, things like this where we're making a sauce, check, as we go along. So you can see the consistency here is a little bit loose, and I could continue to reduce it for a few more minutes. It wouldn't hurt anything. But eventually the chicken's going to get so tender it'll fall apart. So what we're going to do is I have about a third of a stick of butter here, half a stick. And again, roll it around in the flour. I'm going to dump this right in the middle. And I'm going to just leave that alone, let it melt in. And between the butter and that flour, it'll thicken it up. You want this sauce loose. I mean, you don't want it real tight anyway, but you just want some body to it. Like we're going to have it over some spaghetti squash, which is delicious. But have it over pasta or have it just like this. But this is a meal you can cook, put a lid on it, put it aside, do your pasta, heat it back up because you're always going to have enough liquid to so it won't dry out on you. Okay, so at this point I'm going to get this butter integrated in, move stuff around, make sure that flour does its job in there. It's already starting. Just give it a good mix. Flip your chickens. Try to make sure your chicken's not directly on top of a bunch of mushrooms. Of course, it's going to be on some, but we want those mushrooms to cook right. All right, so I'm going to let this roll for about another 5 minutes. All right, we're done. So this is thickened up nicely. Again, I'm going to leave it a little loose if I wasn't having something with it or putting it over something. Oh, this is beautiful. Wish you could smell it. All right, so I just plated it up and garnished it with a little parsley. This looks and tastes unbelievable. I must say, one of the top 2 dishes we've made as far as simplicity and flavor goes. It looks like a Michelin star chef would cook. Anybody can do this, as you saw how easy it is. So do me a favor, give this a shot, and if you like what you're seeing and what we're doing here, like, subscribe, and share. It helps us out a lot. But hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you like this. I can't wait to eat. Until then, we'll see you.